All right, the meeting looks like it started. It is 6:32. Today is Wednesday, October 8th. The meeting of the General Bylaw Review Committee is called to order at 6:32 p.m. Roll call. My name is Carl Hummel.
Karen Mead.
Joanne Lamoth.
And because of the diminished nature of our committee, the three of us are a quorum. Tom Maroli may or may not be showing up. He's not well. This meeting is being held online pursuant to the relevant Massachusetts rules and regulations. So all votes will be roll call votes. So we can start. As part of reviewing the action item list, can you repeat what you said about the Council on Aging?
Yes, I met with the Council on Aging today and had them read their bylaw, which they don't follow and haven't for some years. So Phil Sibley, Amy, and myself are going to get together to go over the bylaw and put it in its the proper way they do things and get back to us. If that's okay.
Yep. So as you can see in the minutes, in the notes, these are notes that I used to write the minutes. I'm giving you the action item to come forward with a draft.
Okay.
And depending on how many changes there are, we may just delete the whole current section and then replace it, or we may come up with the red line doc. So the expectation is that this is something we would put in the queue for spring, the Maytown meeting next year.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I have a review as well. I'm now have three vice chairships. I'm vice chair of this, vice chair of the Conservation Commission, and earlier this week we had our FinCom meeting, and I snarfed the vice chairship for that as well. I asked, so what does the vice chair do? Do I have to do anything other than run the meeting when Mike's not around? They said, that's it. I said, okay, sign me up for it.
There you go.
So we had a very detailed 2.5-hour meeting with the town administrator about all of the upcoming warrant articles. And as part of the conversation, Jeremy is preparing a town administrator bylaw. So there'll be a new chapter or section that describes the role and responsibility of the town administrator. Right now, he's running off of a job description and tasks that have been delegated to him by the select board. One of the current gaps in our bylaws, there's a lack of clarity between the select board and the finance committee as to who is responsible for presenting the budget to town meeting. What Jeremy is working on is that will become the responsibility of the town administrator. So the town administrator is the person who would bring the budget before town meeting. And that should stop a lot of the headbutting that's been going on over the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
At last Wednesday's select board meeting, Tom went over the bylaws on the proposed warrant that will be coming forward. There's the one from CPA land use that basically we're just saying, yep, we like it, and they will be presenting that. And that we're going to have egg on our face when we go back to select town meeting and say, yeah, we need another warrant article for gender neutral language. And they'll say, but we did that already. And Mike and I will have, Tom and I will have to come up with a way for me to give an answer along the lines of, yes, unfortunately, the Attorney General ruled that the bylaw gave us authorization to give gender neutral language, but did not actually change any of the particular bylaws. So now we are preparing and have presented for town meeting a red line document saying exactly which specific words in the bylaws are getting changed.
Wow. Oh,
So that'll be a moment of lightheartedness at the end of the meeting.
which will be needed.
Yep. Well, my goal as being on the FinCom is, like I said, we spent 2.5 hours going over all of the items that regarded money. So yeah, down at the bottom, community preservation bylaw and gender neutral bylaw, and then the third one is the animal control bylaw. So that will be going forward as well. So those are the three things that we will be speaking to or presenting or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, let me. All right, so that's that particular piece of news. There's something else that I will be talking with the town moderator about, and I wish he had been here so we could have had the conversation. One of the warrant articles is a request by the fire department to purchase 2 pieces of equipment. One of them is a all-terrain vehicle and a water trailer for dealing with brush fires. And the second one is a boat to go on Lake Nipmuc to deal with boating incidents and scuba underwater diving and stuff. And one of the questions that I will ask the moderator to decide on is, can we split those 2 things apart on town meeting floor? So we'll be following up with him in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Do we have any idea of the cost of that?
Oh yeah.
From the finance committee.
Oh yeah, that's all the finance committee stuff. So,
Right.
but my point is, when I was talking with the town administrator, and I'll be bringing up with the fire chief in a week and a half, is yeah, you want both of them, but town meeting may want to say you get one of them, but not the other. So I want to split there's a special kind of parliamentary motion where you can split the question, and the way it would work is the select board reads the motion, and then I would get up and make a motion to split, and then the moderator would say whether it's that's allowable or not. And my goal is to work with Tom ahead of time and make sure that everybody knows that we're going to split them in half. Since both of them are in the same warrant article, I'm pretty sure they have to go. The motion has to have both of them. So we'll see about working out those details. So I believe that's all of the stuff that I know of that's going on. Any other items? Karen, you talked about the Council on Aging. Joanne, do you have anything that you've been assigned to be working on or looking at?
It was the stuff with the Board of Health, but the Board of Health said they could not do anything until the state finalized theirs, and the state hadn't finalized theirs.
Is this the ADU thing?
It's the ADU thing, yeah. They didn't anticipate it not being done till later in the year, so.
Well, I keep closing the document. I should not close it. You're right. There's not a warrant article about it. Board of Health did have a meeting where they reviewed the ADU language. It's just not something that they're ready to go with for
No,
this
not yet.
special town meeting. Yep. And it's something I'm going to be looking at closely because I'm in the process of wanting to build an ADU. And I want to make sure my septic system is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when I was at that meeting, they said they had something like 11 applications for ADU that were being reviewed by their outside contractor at that
Good.
time.
Good. And I'm not one of them because I haven't submitted the paperwork yet. I've just got a plot plan and I'm waiting for some other details. Okay, great. So I think at that, we could move on to reviewing the general bylaws ongoing review. So I will make this, there we go, make this larger. So switching over to that's not going to work. Let's go here. So section 10, spacing of class 2 vehicle dealer license premises. I looked up the state law, and class 2 is secondhand used car lots. So it doesn't cover anything Kevin Meehan does. And it basically says you can't have two used car lots within close proximity of themselves, which has me scratching my head about what happened back in 1979 that they felt this still, that they felt the need to pass this. And so the general question is this still needed, or is it something that we can just say, we don't need to have this particular restriction anymore?
Mm.
Hmm, it depends. I mean, right now, I can remember back in the 70s, the place that is now a used boat place used to be a used car lot vehicle
Mhm.
place.
Yes.
So,
But my question is, wouldn't you prefer to have all the used car lots in the same part of the commercial district?
oh yeah, you would prefer that, but
But that's exactly what this prohibits. It says you can't have two of them within 1,000 feet of each other, and they can't display more than 200. They can't have street frontage of more than 200 feet. And it's a good thing this is class 2 because Kevin Meehan has a class 1 vehicle license and he's got all of his new cars going on Route 16. So
Right.
that's why I'm saying if we can sort of ask around and see why this is still needed. So that's a question that we can bring up with the select board the next time we have a conversation with them.
Okay.
Uh, Section 11, underground gas storage tank removal fee. Okay, I guess we need one, but as usual, we need a fee schedule. Uh,
yeah,
One of the things that has been brought up with the select board, Jeremy has had a conversation with the select board and with the finance committee that the goal would be to have a fee schedule that is outside of the bylaws because the fee schedule can be updated by the select board and doesn't require a town meeting vote. So that's in our future at some point.
Mhm.
Jeremy has got a punch list and right now he's busy doing, our union contracts are up. After that, he's working on the town administrator bylaw, working on, then we would update the finance committee and select board bylaws, and then work our way through to coming up with other paperwork cleanups. Um, Section 12, sealer of weights, measures, and their fees. I expect that this is something that the code enforcement officer is in charge of. I guess we can ask and then feeds again. So I guess that's something I'll ask.
Was that John Erickson?
Right now, John Erickson is the code enforcement officer, and my understanding is they're hiring another person part-time or something like that.
Okay.
Again, Jeremy's got a plan for staffing. But looking at all of these particular items, they look reasonable. I mean, the fees probably are for the time for someone to go out and measure them. Agriculture Commission bylaw. This is a place where we have someone call them up and say, hey, come and talk to us. The Agriculture Commission did not exist for a while, but my understanding that it's now back again. The Ag Commission is a special section. It's not its own individual chapter, but that's part of the whole language we usually have. Section 13.3 is none of the other sections talking about boards mention this because it's written into the since it's appointed by the select board has an existing regulation on how they appoint people, so that goes into much more depth than this. So this section could be deleted if we were removing it. The other thing about this that I'd want to talk to the committee about is the only activity that the Ag Commission does is they get to write a report and hand it in the big book that gets handed out at town meeting. What else do they do? I mean, their purpose is to do all of these other things, but do we want to say in the bylaw things that they are explicitly encouraged to do or should be doing? For example, putting on my Conservation Commission hat, if a farmer has an active farm plan that is on file with the local town and a farm plan on file with the state, they have greater leeway in what they are doing within 100 feet of wetlands, because we want to encourage farms and not say, nope, here you got a stream going through or you've got a vernal pool, you can't do any. No, we want to allow farmers to do farm activities in their soggy parts of their fields.
Mhm.
So that's something, is that something that we call out explicitly in the Ag Commission bylaw or something to explore it? But in general, this is where we'd want to call them in and check in with them. So any other comments?
Nope, not for me.
Okay.
Nope.
And Mike, our chair, usually extends the invitation, so since he's not here, we'll dump it on him unless he comes back and asks someone else to do it. Because I'm not on the Ag Commission, or either of you.
No.
Nope.
No. Okay. What I will do is, I think one of the other conservation commissioners is on it. I will mention the idea to her, but we'd have the official invitation coming through. And the last section is Traveling Wild Animal Acts.
Mm.
And this thing got passed in 2020, so 2019, so it's pretty new. And what I can't figure out is what the hell happened that they decided to pass this, because it doesn't impact the zoo because it's not traveling, and it doesn't and, the usual thing that comes to North Avenue and Route 16. Did they have all of these weird wild animals that we don't want them to have? What's the restriction on it? Do you know anything about the history behind this?
They had large animals,
Okay, like an elephant?
yes, and what the heck's that long thing? An emu or something. I don't know what
Yeah.
it was, but there was a lot of people that did not want these animals. They don't want traveling circuses, put it that way.
Okay.
And it did have people out there with signs while the circus was going on.
I live in town and I guess I missed the whole thing.
Oh yeah, it was no circuses, no circuses. So I think this is why they did this.
Okay, because it's very well written. I mean, look at all of the language. It's got definitions, prohibitions. So they must have got the boilerplate from someone else.
Correct, I believe they did. Which is why the circus is mainly people. They wanted a people circus. They didn't want an animal circus. So they came to an agreement. Well, I should say the town came to an agreement as to what animals were permitted and which were prohibited.
Yep. Yeah. I noticed, well, you can have a petting zoo because you see here you can have llamas, alpacas, sheep, goat. So
Correct.
petting zoo's okay, but not giraffes and hippopotamuses.
Right.
Okay, so the reason is it was done in response to citizen protest demonstrations.
That's what I believe it was all about. Yes.
Okay. Um, so I believe that concludes the review. Anyone have items within 48 hours of prior to meeting?
No.
Okay, so for future review, we have uses of lakes, and now we go back to chapters instead of special sections. So this is use of lakes and streams, which is pretty much Lake Nipmuc. And then we have an earth removal bylaw, which is much longer. So I think we can just stick with those two. Oh man, this thing just keeps on going.
No, it does.
Okay, and it was 1954, updated in 88. So what's the next one? Next one is land use planning, which is another long one. Okay, so I think we'll just do um, the relative. I'm okay doing both of them because the use of lakes and streams doesn't really say much.
Right.
And one of the things I'm amused by is it doesn't have any fines or fees. The reason this has come up is the Conservation Commission has heard a citizen complaint that people are holding weddings and ceremonies at the the thing on the lake, the
Mm-hmm.
big the ballroom, and people use the steps going down there for photo shoots. And while people are doing photo shoots, some annoying people are buzzing in the background on their water skis and jet skis and stuff.
Oh.
And so what I told the person at the time is, well, I just happen to know that there's a bylaw prohibiting that kind of activity if they're too close or they're going too fast. But I looked at the bylaw and there's no fines or anything. The
Oh.
other the other interesting thing is one of the two things the fire department wants is he wants a boat to go on Lake Nipmuc. And I asked, can it be used for code enforcement? And I will be having their initial response is we don't want to, and so I'll be following up on that saying, why I think it should. But if that's the case, then we would have someone at the select board meeting said, well, there used to be a boat that the fire department had, and then they sold it. So one of my FinCom questions is, why did it get sold? And why now do you think circumstances have changed that you think we should have a boat? So I will be using this particular bylaw chapter as a reason to say, we say that you can't do these things, but we have no way to enforce it, and no coverage of activities on the lake. So I think that we can quickly handle that one in the discussion. And then the earth removal one, we can take a look at it. And when we look at it, yeah, it looks like some of it's mentioning the Conservation Commission, some of it, Planning Board. We'll see which town departments would be involved and we see about getting there. We'll take a first look at it at our next meeting.
It's
And
revised.
then we would see about pulling in committees, staff members to review it with us.
It says this was revised 3/17/25. Is that correct?
Scroll down.
Yeah.
Land use is, no, I'm only seeing 1955 and 1988.
At the bottom of earth removal bylaw, first page.
Oh, it's on the first page. Okay.
Yeah, it says revised 3/17/25, and then the next page says the same thing.
No. That's when Ellen updated it last.
Oh.
So that's the footer. That's at the bottom of every single page.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So where's the one you're seeing? What page is that?
Zips.
That's sort of misleading.
Down here's the end of it. So approved 1954-55, updated 1988.
1988. Oh my God.
There's no chapter 13. How odd.
Oh, someone's superstitious.
Chapter 13 is okay. So if there's no other business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I motion that we adjourn.
Second,
Roll call vote. Carl Hummel, yes.
Karen Mead,
Wait.
yeah.
Joanne Lamoth, yes.
Okay, so the meeting is now over at 7:01. Thanks for coming.
Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.